Afternoon, friends. How you doing? I wasn't going to make a video tonight, and jeez, is there a horse in the house? I just thought, well, damn it, I'll just make a video on one that I find important. It's jaw pain and heart attack. The way jaw pain is related to a heart attack. Not a lot of many. That's like something Michael Caine would say there. Not a lot of people know that, but it is true. Not a lot of people do know it. Jaw pain is very, very relevant to a heart attack. And if you don't believe me, you know, and if you're on YouTube at the moment, which you probably are if you're watching me, just Google it or YouTube it. Jaw pain and heart attack. Very, very common factor. Now, 2 months before I had my heart attack, I had terrible jaw pain. It was really severe that I thought it was an abscess. So it wasn't just there, but sort of mainly there, but it sort of came round here as well. You know, it was sort of like a throbbing, generating. It's hard to describe it unless you're sort of having it. But whenever I read the books afterwards on heart disease and heart attacks and so on, you realise that it's actually the heart, you know, sort of coming. You're actually, you know, it's your heart attack coming on slowly but surely, and it's coming through your jaw. So what I did was I went to my dentist, and the dentist had a look at it, and of course said, yeah, I'm going to give it an X-ray here. We'll see what's wrong. So she put the, you know, the thing they put in your mouth where you can hardly breathe, and you actually pay for the benefit of that. But anyway, she put that in my mouth and took the X-rays and came back with the good news that there was no abscess there was no infection there was nothing there. So what was this jaw pain? You know, what was the jaw pain? So I decided I'll go to my doctors. Maybe the doctor will know what to do. You know, the doctors are very knowledgeable, and that's why they get a high salary these days. So I went to the doctors and says, look, I've been having these terrible jaw pains right through November and into December, and it's sort of generating a, you know, it's terrible pain. And he says, let's examine you. And he sort of, you know, all this sort of stuff, and sort of took my heart and all that there, you know. And he says, it could be neuralgia. Note he says it could be, because then you've no comeback. You know, he'll not turn around and say it is neuralgia. He said it could be neuralgia. So he said, well, it could be neuralgia. He says, we'll see how it goes. So we'll see how it goes. I'll tell you how it goes. It made me have a heart attack. I woke up in the morning of the 20th of January and I had a heart attack, which you will find in my heart attack story and a few other of my videos if you follow my stuff. If you don't, you know, please subscribe to my channel, and I think you'll learn a lot of stuff from it, because I think you learn more from somebody that's actually had a heart attack than, you know, being told about what the symptoms of a heart attack are and reading them and so on. But they're not really from somebody that's had a heart attack. You know, I have had that heart attack. Now, what annoyed me more than anything was about a year or two after I'd had my stent, and I was about 2 years after my heart attack, and I bumped into a friend of mine, and I hadn't seen him in a few years, so we got chatting, you know, as you do, how are you? Everything all right? Yeah, blah, blah, blah. And I don't like to bring my heart attack up, you know, I very rarely talk about it, and I sort of try and keep it to myself. But he was just talking about his heart and stuff like that there, and then he was having problems, and I said, all right. I says I got a stent a couple of years ago, and the main symptom I had, I says, was jaw pain. And he says, it's funny you should say that. But I sort of thought to myself, it actually wasn't funny, you know. I had a heart attack, what's funny about that? But anyway, I decided to listen to his story. So he says, yeah, it's funny you should say that. I had jaw pain myself, and it was really bad jaw pain, like a throbbing. And I says, that was just exactly like mine. And I says, and what happened? He says, well, I had a stent as well. I says, really? I says, did you have a heart attack? He says, oh, no. He says, I didn't have a heart attack. He says, I went to my doctor's, and I told my doctor that I had jaw pain. And I told him the severity of the jaw pain, and the fact that it was sort of radiating pain. And I told him the way I felt, and his doctor, unlike mine, turned around and said, "You do know that jaw pain is one of the main signs of a heart attack. What I'd like you to do is, which I'm going to do here now, is I'm going to make an appointment for you to go to the hospital and have a stress test." Stress test is, of course, the treadmill test, where they attach all the stuff and to see if your heart is functioning properly. I've done a video on that as well, by the way. So they done the stress test on him, and it turned out that his heart wasn't functioning properly. So they brought him in for an angioplasty, and that's where they put the woody cut down there, and they put it into a tube. They squirt black dye down. I've done a video on that as well. They put the black dye down, and it goes down, and it shows there's blockage. So it showed he had a blockage, and they went through with the procedure, the stent procedure, and they put a stent in him. He was in and had a stent on Friday, and he was out. He was out later that day. He had it in the morning, he was out that night. I had my heart attack on the Sunday. I didn't get the stent to the Friday, and I was out on the Saturday. Because of the fact I had a heart attack, I couldn't drive for like 4 to 5 weeks. Plus other things. Plus you always know in your mind you've had a heart attack. Now, because his doctor picked up on the fact of the jaw pain being one of the main symptoms of a heart attack, he sent the guy to the hospital. Whereas I had been to both my dentist, can't blame the dentist now, dentist isn't really qualified as a doctor, but the doctor, in hindsight, I mean, I told him I'd been to the dentist, I told him that it x-rays and there was nothing there, but him knowing, the fact, I mean, he would have known my family history as well, and I was 53 years old at the time, so, he should have actually sent me to the hospital. But knowing what I know now, if I would have actually gone to the hospital myself and insisted on getting an appointment for a treadmill test. So if you're watching this, my friends, and you have been having jaw pain for a month and a half or so, and it's really bad jaw pain, and it's not related to toothache or anything like that there, see your doctor. Say to your doctor, you're a bit worried about it and you'd like to get a treadmill test and get it checked out just in case it's related to a heart attack coming on. End result, you go up, have a treadmill test and you're fine. Happy days. Happy days. You've wasted nobody's time. If you're in the UK, that's what you're bloody well paying your tax and national insurance for. So you're getting some of your money back. End result is, if it's not a heart attack, it's not a heart attack. And the bad news is, if it is a heart attack coming on, you go through the angioplasty, stent procedure, operation. I wouldn't even call it an operation because you're only there for about 45 minutes. Boom, you get the stent in, and that's it. I'm just so annoyed at the fact that I had a heart attack when I knew the signs were there. I'd been to 2 people and it wasn't picked up. My friend, he went to his doctor and it was picked up. Basically in life, you know your own body. You know when something's wrong. I knew something was wrong and I picked up the signs. Unfortunately, my doctor didn't pick up the sign. So if anything's wrong with you, you have that type of jaw pain and you've had it for a month or 2, see your doctor. Insist on getting a treadmill test. If he says no, you take yourself up to the hospital yourself and ask, can you get a treadmill test? Because you're worried about having a heart attack and you've told the doctor and so on that you're worried about it, and that if you can't get it, you've told your family that you've been to the hospital and advised them that you think you're going to have a heart attack. Then I think they'll give you a treadmill test. Always look after yourself if you're worried that you're going to have a heart attack. Because if you don't look after yourself, nobody else is going to look after you. So, jaw pain, doctors, hospital, look after yourself. It's the main thing. Before I go, if you have a YouTube account, please join subscribe to my channel, hit the wee bell there, and it'll give you any forthcoming ones, and give me a wee like as well. Just while I'm on there, I hate to sort of, I'm doing this in my video now, because it's this here book here. It's Prevent, Halt and Reverse Heart Disease by Joseph Piscatella and Barry A. Franklin. Right? There it is there. I bought that on Amazon, and it's the best book I bought. Since I've had the heart attack, I bought about 15 books on the heart attack and how to prevent a second heart attack and stuff like that there. And most of them are sort of, they're boring and sort of, they don't help. Now, this one here, it says 109 things you can do. This is such an easy read as well, and I thoroughly recommend it. And what I've done, I'm not trying to be the salesman here, I'm actually trying to help. This channel I've set up is actually trying to help people not to die and to prevent themselves from having a heart attack. This book will help you. And at the bottom of this video, you'll see a link to Amazon to that book. Do yourself a favour and buy it. And trust me, you will learn a lot of, and I mean a lot of things about heart disease other than the jaw pain sign. But thanks very much for watching, and I'll probably be back. This is Monday. I'll do a video again on Wednesday. If anybody has anything they want to, a video made about or anything like that there, leave me a comment down below, because I think there's nothing better than us sort of talking to each other. I mean, nothing beats interaction. If you want to learn something, I think you're best learning it from someone that's actually gone through the experience. There's somebody that could write a book about heart disease and so on, and all they've done is picked up facts about, such and such and research has been done, and it says that you can have a stent fitted, and in 5 years you might sort of need to have another one fitted. I've read that online. I've read everything online, but this book here, this book's great. It's told me everything. And don't believe everything you hear or read in Google, I mean, I'm alive 13 years later. They told me whenever I first read your life expectancy after a stent that a quarter of the people that have had a stent die in the first year. I can tell you something, I bloody didn't. 13 years later, I'm still here, and I'm hoping I'll still be here on Wednesday for the next video. Thanks for watching. Really love you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.